0.7 FM Oluyole, Ibadan. Today's date is 21st of February, year 2023. My name is Abimbola Adebayo. I am your host for Black Coffee, but today I have a co-host, a co-pilot with me in the studio. His name is...
My name is Oluwagbemiga Olabisi Abimbola. How are you this morning?
Good morning. We also have in the studio with us Sam Owogo. Sam, how is it with you this morning?
I'm grateful. Thank you. Good morning, listener. Good morning.
You are a bit cheerful this morning. Have you gotten some fuel?
Well,
or you have some cash?
We leave the day as they come, because if you don't add some cheerfulness to it and you think what is happening in the country is part of the things you have to carry on your head, the burden may cripple you. So we just live cheerfully, Thank you for rain. Thank you for sunshine.
Yeah.
Thank you, just as the music says. So we thank God for everything.
Thanks for the failure. Thanks for the pickups.
Yes.
Thanks for the up and downs.
Yes. Whatever you give me is good. So help me to use
But Benga looks like somebody has enough cash.
I wish I can recognize cash when I see it again because I can't remember the last time I've been holding cash. But looking at for this election coming, it's just around the corner now, and
it's about 4 days to the elections.
Yes, and people have been talking about how are we going to cope, because some people would say that if I've not eaten, how am I going to go out to vote? And you know that we have the different reactions to these cashless policy and things like this. So for me, I just feel like, let's see how it goes come Saturday. Let's see how I hope this will not result in maybe voting apathy.
Well, I know that quite a lot might happen on Saturday, but we hope at the same time that it will be for good. I know, Sam, you've covered quite a lot of elections, and then do you think that anything might change from the patterns of the voting you have experienced in the past?
Yes, I think there would be a few changes. First of all is the introduction of beavers. This is the first time we are going to use beavers for the general election.
Yes.
So I'm sure there would be some changes. Of course, naturally you'll expect some forward movements. You'll also expect some stagnancy. You'll expect some retrogression. It's man-made, so I'm sure we are going to read about hiccups here and there. But generally, I think there will be an improvement. That's one. Then on the part of the voters themselves, I think we will have more young voters voting this time round. This time round, I'm sure many people who are, first-time voters will be much more than what we used.
But every 4 years, we have new...
First time vote, yes,
exactly.
but
So
there will be more.
What will make
now.
this different?
What will make it different is that there will be more of them.
Why?
Because the mobilization in that voting demographic is very high.
This time around.
But that's what we've been saying every time. It appears that there are social media voters going on Twitter and other platforms also, just to vote. But on D-Day, everybody will now come up with let me just sit back.
Yes, we say that also, but I think it is more now. Yes.
Okay, don't let us focus. It's still Black Coffee, in case you are wondering. What are these guys doing? It's still Black Coffee. We are just trying to make your coffee more thicker than it used to be. So before we go to the headlines this morning, I'd like to share my code for today with you. Always make a total effort, even when the odds are against you. No matter how things seem to be difficult around you, please make the total effort. You might not be sitting down and thinking that, things will be fine. If you sit down, things might not get well. So make that effort. In fact, make the total effort, and then you would see a huge difference. We have 4 national dailies with you. For me, I have This Day newspaper, and I have Vanguard newspaper with me, Benga.
I have the Punch newspaper and the Nation newspaper with me here. So let me go with the Punch newspaper. The big story here says 4 days to poll, Naira chaos grounds economy. Rider banks rations 200 naira notes. Nigerians lament hardship. Protesters raise 2 Ogun banks, vandalize the local government's office, and also petrol rose by 55% to 257 naira per litre in January. That's coming from NBS. I think that's the big stories in the front of page of the Punch.
Punch newspaper. Okay, let me go with the Vanguard. Presidential candidates, campaigns, and their manifestos. That's the first headline I'm taking. And then the next one, elections. U.S. Embassy alerts citizens in Nigeria on possible protests. Presidency, Northern Blacksmith endorsed Tinubu Shetima. And another one is saying Naira redesign mops up 1.8 trillion naira from currency outside bank. But that headline has this following kickers. Analysts eat of inflation backlash, relief as bank disburses old 200 naira note, old 500 naira, 1000 naira expired on February 10. CBN POS agent lament situation, alleged 3 billion naira fraud, court grant Ali Bello 3 others 500 million naira bail.
All right, the Nation newspaper, the big story there. Naira customers overwhelm banks with cash demands. 30 aired after arson of 4 branches. Malami in talks with APC leaders. Pipeline vandalism, oil theft, hurting economy. Buhari meets Ethiopian Airlines over Nigeria Air. Okay, JAMB registers 1.6 million UTMA candidates. 4 policemen, 3 IPOB suspects killed. Amalgamation of Fulani groups endorse Tinubu. And that's from the Nation newspaper this morning.
And the last paper for this morning is This Day newspaper. And I will be starting with this first headline. Old banknotes, APC governors provoking anarchy, says article. That headline has this following kickers. They are inciting comments, boring people to attack banks. Sympathizers with citizens over hardship. Protesting youth said banks. IBEDC INEC office ablaze in Ogun. APC campaign inconsistent. Article can't offer leadership Nigerians need. Another headline is saying Southwest leaders back Tinubu for presidency. As Irabo, we are good to go with Saturday elections. That headline has this following kickers. Meet service chiefs, head of DIA, NIA, DSS behind closed doors, says troublemakers will get bloody nose. Those are the papers for this morning. In case you want to be part of the conversation, when our analysts will have spoken for a while, Benga, you want to be part of the conversation, please call 070-4700-937, 070-4700-937, or you can dial 090-999-7937 to be part of the conversation on Black Coffee this morning. Sam?
Yes, sir.
Which of the headlines this morning from the dailies attracts your attention?
Naturally, it should be all of them. I have seen quite a few of the stories. The ones on the endorsements, the non-endorsements. This is what has happened. This is what has not happened. But the most outstanding of them remains the same issue that has been on the front burner, which is Naira. I wouldn't know if it is swap now or redesign. You redesign the Naira, yes, but make it available, no. So the Naira issue remains the foremost. It's like
not even the elections.
Well, if people
it's about 4 days to the elections, and
if people cannot
having for the presidency and then for House of Representatives and Senate
and the Senate, yes, the election is really very important. But from the look of things, the Naira issue will affect the elections.
How?
Somehow, and this is what I mean. Chances are that we may have people who will not be able to transport themselves to wherever it is they are supposed to vote. You know, yesterday, this may sound awkward and funny. By funny, I mean it's hilarious. There is a usual woman we eat from her shop. So I walked in there yesterday and said, give me this, give me that, I want to eat. You know, it now occurred to me that all the cash on me was less than 300 naira. I said, madam, wait. Do you take transfer? She said, no. So I had to stop. I said, sorry, don't. He said, no, you give me later. I said, no worry.
Okay, so why are we not looking into using the electronic platforms to make transfers and people get ahead of all this cash?
If you want to, on election day, because this is in relation to the election.
Yeah.
On election day, one elderly woman would want to, I live in Fodasis area, One elderly woman would want to move from Fodasis to, say, Ososami, where she registered to vote. If INEC happens not to have brought her polling, sometimes INEC may not know where you reside. So their intention is, if this polling unit is very large, we break you into smaller units so that you can vote faster and go. At the same time, if someone, I gave the example of a woman I gave a ride to Ososami.
During the last election?
Yes, during the last election.
But there won't be transport system on election day. There won't be commercial.
There won't be, yes. Just let's get the drift now. That woman, I'm using her as an example, as a kind of platform. That woman is supposed to transport herself to that point. Ordinarily, she may arrange with a commercial motorcyclist and say, okay, take me there. By the time the elections are over, she would find her way back. If she hasn't got the cash to pay the commercial motorcyclist may be somebody who does not take alerts and say, look, not yet, because a lot of people don't trust it as we speak. So that in one way or the other will affect some of the things that will happen. That's just the issue of these Naira notes. All I'm trying to say is we have to find a way to get out of this quagmire. We have to find a way to get out of this mess before we begin to look at how this will not affect the elections. There is no way, because even some of us who sometimes have small change in our pockets to transport ourselves around, you may even forget that you needed more than you have on you until you now. That's what happened to me with the food vendor, So some of these things, they are, of course, the two of them are on the front burner, but one will definitely affect.
Okay, still talking about this coming election on Saturday. Now let's look at the protest and raising of banks and what signal do you think that is sending?
Anarchy. It has really impacted negatively now our banking subsector of our finance and our economy. It's something really very bad. Banks are built and expectedly are fortified, but angry people go beyond fortification. They find ways around some of those things. Raising of banks is not a very good thing to do. It's not.
Now looking at what played out,
it's playing bad.
What played out yesterday? Do you think it's still a protest like pressing on demands, or do you think something is fishy?
It's a mix. It starts with anger, and some people feast on that anger.
By the way, Wenga, it was not only banks that were attacked yesterday.
Yes.
INEC office was attacked, and the Ibadan electricity distribution company was also attacked.
Yes. You see, it all boils down to the same thing.
I think some people need to know that some of these facilities are not owned by government.
They are not. And at the end of the day, we will still be the ones to pay for some of these things. Because whatever it is you do to the bank, they will build it into their charges and get the money from all of us.
They have a way of doing it.
Yes, it's straightforward. I had an experience at IBEDC, and then I knew something might go wrong. What happened was that at IBEDC, I wanted to pay, and they said, no, we don't take old notes. This was about a week and a half ago or thereabouts. Thankfully, I didn't come with old notes because I didn't even have it. I didn't have the new ones either. So they were taking POS, point of sales, and I used my card to pay. But some people were agitated and saying, look, we just came out of the bank with old notes, and you are here rejecting the same old notes.
So that could be that they were transferring aggression from what happened from the bank.
That is part of it.
To IBDC.
Yes, to IBDC and some other institutions. So it's a big problem, not because the issue is related to some other, it's a big issue mixed with people's anger and desire to make a headway.
By the way, I'm trying to remember his office now, General Irabo, met with
Chief of General Staff.
Yes, met with the DSS, met with NIA, met with DIA behind closed doors, and then when he came out, he said that whoever foment troubles would have their nose bloody.
Well, at least they have to give us that warning so that we know that some of the
show of force is already happening in some states.
Yes, they've done show of force. I think they've done it in Ibadan here. Ibadan is very large, you may not notice, but they've done show of force here. They've done show of force in a few other states. I know that the security agencies are not leaving these things lying low. And they know. The security agencies know who are behind some of those things.
Now, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Please stay away from your radio. Stay away from your radio.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Your name and where are you calling from?
Ayodele from Malakia.
Ayodele from Malakia, please go ahead.
Yeah, I want to align with your analyst in the studio. There is no doubt some Nigerians will be disenfranchised this Saturday due to the situation on ground. Yes, this is this scarcity issue. And unfortunately, that it's the government that is championing elections. But here we are. How do we conduct a credible election under this kind of atmosphere? And Alhaji Atiku Abubakar said some governors are, they are provoking anarchy. Yeah, that's just the truth. If Mr. President says something and you few governors are saying another thing, what are we talking about? I know that the governors that want the local government under them to be dancing to their tune. It's unfortunate. And it boils down to the fact that they are after their selfish interest.
Thank you very much, Ayodele. Thank you very much. Sam, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate for the PDP, is accusing the APC governors of inciting anarchy in the country.
Yes, he's an interested party.
But don't forget that yesterday he threw up another statement going against what he had said earlier as regards the new Naira policy.
Yes, according to his handlers, or by handlers I mean his media aides and so on. You see, when new insights come, you shift your positions, and that it shows flexibility of a leader. I want to agree with them. At least when this thing came up, I didn't kick against the fact that Naira was redesigned, even though I didn't know what for and the timing was not right. But I felt, okay, let's see what the new Naira would look like until the trouble started. Then I felt,
I think the worry then was that the color. We were all worried about the color.
Yes, they said it's...
now we are not even talking about the color.
We no longer even know the money you see that you talk about.
Nobody worries about the color.
So he, according to them, has seen that the policy is taking the wrong direction, and he had to no.
Hello, we have a caller. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
This is Ruth calling from Malakia.
Ruth from Malakia.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so it's so unfortunate that nothing has changed since Mr. President made his speech, because most banks are not operating due to the situation of the recent attack. Even the ones that are operating are not dispensing cash. So how are we not going to survive now? Is this not another hardship knowing? So what is now the essence of the policy that is inflicting hardship on the masses? With this has even add up to the poverty in the country. Nigerians are hungry and angry. So I will just implore Nigeria, should please not to be violent. We only have 4 days to go to vote out this bad leadership. So we should channel all this energy by voting out this bad leadership instead of be violent and destroying the public facilities. Yeah. But it will keep worsening the case. So that's my contribution.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that call for peace. And like I was saying, he has seen that on the one hand, it's a good policy. On the other hand, it's affecting the generality of the public. So he has to call for a review of whatever it is they are doing. So on that, I think I agree with him. But on the side of politics, creating scenarios that some are not even non-existent, some are non-existent, I don't think it's worth the whole wahala. Because it is now.
But even with that, some people are accusing Alhaji Atiku Abubakar of always making a statement on any issue and taking a reverse.
I don't know how many of them that has happened. I know very well that this is one man that has been accused of corruption, of many things written about and so on, and he didn't react. So now he is talking because he's a frontliner, one of the frontline contestants to the presidency. So he has to talk. Before now, I don't think we heard so much from Atiku. When issues of what he was described, how he was described by his former boss, Chief Olusegun Obasanjo, he didn't react to that. He didn't react to so many other things. When people call him names, and even the fact that some agencies were asking him to to come answer some questions regarding certain things. No, he never really said anything. But now that he is contesting, he has to say something. So he also said something when the young lady was burnt at the College of Education in Sokoto and reversed it.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, so now that it has come to, when the push comes to shove, you have to now know who stands who stand where.
So the question is now what to, because now we're talking about anarchy and talking about the governors going anarchy. Now, which should be looked into? Is it from the presidency, or because sometimes some are saying that the governors are looking at what is happening within their states and they are making a policy that is going to suit what is happening within their states. Do you agree with that school of thought?
Not completely. Because you see, it's futile, and for me, it's not proper for people to isolate this thing from the total gamut of what the government infrastructure is. By government infrastructure, I mean government structure as it is. The federal government is there sitting at top of all the policies that are made, and the CBN policies are not independent of the federal government. And the federal government is formed by a particular party and the particular people who belong to that political party. So it is very difficult for anyone to draw that line. You cannot tell me that all these things that are coming from the CBN do not have the approval of the president, who is the leader of the ruling political party. So they are intertwined. Omi Eko kind of thing. You cannot separate Omi Eko from Eko. Good. Now, that is on the one hand. On the other hand, if you say, what it has proven is that there is a kind of division, there's a schism between the two. Yes, the governors, some governors agree with the president, some do not.
Yeah.
On what basis? I think it's more of a selfish, and even in Kaduna now, let's take it as an example, where the governor said, look, keep spending the old Naira notes.
Tilted towards the verdict of the court.
Yes, good. The verdict of the court. The explanation the federal government gave was that the verdict of the court is an interim injunction, and that it ends when the matter is heard. I'm not a lawyer.
February 15. Okay.
I'm not a lawyer, and that's what they said.
The court had also adjourned till February 22nd.
Now, the adjourn.
And that's tomorrow.
They heard the matter.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Your name and where you are calling from. Good morning. Welcome to Black Coffee.
This is the voice of Olu Bright, and I'm calling from Unity Quarters here in Akure, in Ondo State.
Oh, nice one. Good morning, sir.
Good morning to you.
Yeah.
Your radio is loud and clear in Ondo State here.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
And I want you to please keep it up.
Thank you for your kind words.
What my contribution is about the election is that every one of us should try and go and vote as a good citizen of Nigeria without any hinge. And I'm sure by God's grace, God will take control.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you very much.
All right,
thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes, the thought I was expressing is that you cannot separate what is happening from the government.
Okay.
And when the president made a broadcast last Thursday, he said he's aware that the matter is in court and all this, all issues around it, and said
he also talked about the hardship.
Yes, he also talked about the hardship and said people should just endure and that they were going to do something about it. It's okay. It's good he has shown empathy. But beyond showing empathy, what has happened? Nothing. When nothing happened, some governors took it upon themselves and said, okay, let's go ahead. Now, one of the states that did that is Kaduna. Kaduna said, keep spending the old money.
Jigawa did the same thing too.
But some
Ogun did the same.
Some reports are showing that people are not listening to that. Because some are of the opinion that we have a superior government,
which is the president,
which is the federal government, which has the powers over currency, has the powers over what's it called now? The finance, even the CBN itself. So it's a confusion, and this confusion is coming at a very wrong time, preparatory to the election. So if the presidential candidate of the PDP is saying there is a path to anarchy being created, I don't think he is completely wrong. Because if the governor is saying, no, this is where to go, and the president is saying no, this is where to go.
And the citizens are going
and the citizens are confused, are torn in between, and they don't have an option.
There were reports that in Ogun State, citizens were given some amount of money, and then they rejected it.
Exactly what we are saying.
Hold notes, by the way.
Yeah. Now, I want to ask that this policy and election, do you think the timing it's wrong, or it has nothing to do with the timing?
The timing is completely wrong as far as I am concerned. In fact, that was the first thing.
Are you separating the redesign from election, or do you think it's because of
I am not? I am not separating it. I had it as a thought until it was amplified by the presidential candidate of the APC. He said,
"You think it's a political?"
I think policy. It has political undertone. It has political
gimmicks or whatever.
A kind of political interaction with the thought of redesign of the Naira notes. The timing. The timing, as far as I'm concerned, because this is something you could have done 6 months ago. If it wasn't like that, why look at the issue of this is completely out of it. Look at the issue of fuel subsidy. When the Minister of Finance talked about fuel subsidy the last time, when he made a formal issue about it, what he said was that he's going to take off in 90 days or in 120 days, which we calculated to be June. And by June, this government would have gone. And when this government goes in June, it becomes the problem of the next government. So why didn't they do the Naira redesign to also run like that?
Why now?
Why is it, like...
And it's creating a lot of trouble. But by the way, the election...
Why not?
The U.S. embassy is alerting its citizens in Nigeria that there could be possible protesters, coming up in Nigeria.
Me, I'm also alerting my children. I've always told them, say, when you hear anything, because it hasn't got to be US alone, no. Here, okay, look at what happened in Shagam. Look at what happened. The first protest in Abeokuta, someone was shot.
Yeah.
And nobody knew where the shot came from.
Yes.
The video we saw, the video we saw was a man who was hit and he was running until he fell. You understand now? So, I also alert my children. US, alert your own children too. I tell my children, when you get to school, stay in the school.
All right,
you never can tell what happens.
With all these alerts here and there, home and abroad, do you think it's going to discourage people from voting?
Well, we are supposed to be used to certain things now. The US alerting its citizens is only normal. And some of them don't look like we look. I'm a completely black man. If he doesn't look like I look and doesn't dress the way I dress, there may be suspicion about who he is, except if he's my family member who had come. So they should also be cautious, because there is crime everywhere, even in the US and in the UK. I know of knife issues there. So what I'm saying in essence is that, yes, alerts may create some kind of panic, but I don't think it is enough to dissuade people from going out to vote, especially among ourselves here.
When we hear intelligence like this, we hear talks like this, how do you think Nigerians have been working on intelligence, like security issues, in making sure that things goes well, especially this coming election?
As far as the elections are concerned, Nigerians are very alert. That is why when they see anything, they will escalate it, especially on the social media. And I noticed that there had been lots of reactions from police spokespersons in various states. They will say, no, this is not true. No, this is true. We have done this. No, this is not the complete truth, and so on. So that tells you that Nigerians are alert to they are alive to their responsibilities as citizens to bring some of the issues to the fore. But beyond that, Nigerians as individuals, we don't take security. We think security belongs to certain people as their own specific duties that don't concern us. Security is the job of everyone of us. Yeah. If you see something, you say something so as to avoid us falling into something. It should be a complete cycle. We don't leave it to police alone, or to the army, or to the air force, or whoever it is that we have the access to, because some people have access to some of these armed forces and they use it as their own leverage. So security is for all of us, and people are using it as a way to create awareness and also to alert people to remain cautious as they move about.
It's the Black Coffee. In case you want to be part of the conversation, please call 070-4700-937 or you call 090-999-7937 to be part of the conversation on Black Coffee. Sam, I like us to look at the presidential candidate manifestos and their campaign messages. Have you seen any of the manifestos?
I only skimmed through. I didn't sit down to read all through because in the end, you see,
it's always voluminous.
Yes, the volume notwithstanding.
But there are always agendas. Like I recall that for the APC, they used to have 7-point agenda. Okay, if you recall, when President Muhammadu Buhari was campaigning.
Yes.
But there would be points that you must have seen.
Yes, I've seen some. But like I'm saying, it's still the same thing
that they've been saying.
I said it here in the studio one day that I saw a 1978 newspaper. No. Early 1979 newspaper in which Shagari's main campaign topic was.
Sam, please hold your tongue.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please stay away from the radio, your name and where you are calling from.
Is it better right now?
Yes, but you can still stay away a little. Just a little.
I am, so my radio is even
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'm Balkis Onodiro from Ibadan.
Balkis, good morning.
Good morning. I do not think the timing is wrong. No matter the time that this Naira redesign is being done towards a cashless economy, many Nigerians will still complain. But I think what is wrong with the policy is poor implementation. For example, now a lot of transporters are not collecting transfer, which is actually affecting the cashless economy. So I think the poor infrastructure of the grant is the one that is affecting it. And I think the federal government should do something before Saturday. That's my contribution.
Thank you very much, Balikis. We are talking about the manifesto.
Yes, it was. I just wanted to quickly react to Balkis. Yes, for me, it's my opinion that the timing is wrong because it has brought further pressure. You know,
how do you ask the old man driving me crying in Ibadan for his account number?
You see, if it was not for the election, this issue might not have been as difficult as it is. But because the elections are just around the corner, you need a lot of resources. They need resources to do campaigns. You can't take that away. So my opinion is that if it had come long before now, we might have resolved it
and adjusted
to it before the elections come. So that's all I'm trying to say. Otherwise, I don't think it's completely. Of course, it's not a bad policy. I supported it. I wanted to see new Naira notes. You know, now the thought on manifesto was in 1979, the main campaign topic, a newspaper lead of the Nigerian Tribune of that year, I think it was May 1979, was that Shagari said he was going to provide electricity for Nigeria. Are we still not talking about electricity today? Provision of electricity is, if you check the manifestos, is one of the things. You know, now people have gone beyond that. People now look at how much the world has changed, but we are still talking about electricity. We are talking about infrastructure. You see, I read about a road that was destroyed by land. It's not earthquake now. Is it landslide or something? There was a shift, and the road was torn in two. And overnight, this was in Japan, and overnight they repaired the road. 24 hours. If our road goes bad in this country, let's check how long it takes to get the roads fixed. You know, we still talk about infrastructure the way we've been talking about it since colonial era. So I think we have to shift. But the only difference I see now is that we are more dynamic in our language. We use very beautiful English to wrap the same issues and present it to Nigerians. Same issues. Are we not talking about monetizing elections now? Same issues. So for their manifestos, all I would have loved to see is a situation in which we find a way to build institutions that will be stronger. than the individuals heading them.
But President Muhammadu Buhari had said that he had done justice to what he promised. I believe in his own manifesto, he believes that he has done justice to it. Are you not thinking maybe we are demanding too much? Maybe what they are doing what they actually plan to do?
Unfortunately, we will demand too much. The president said he has fulfilled all his campaign promises and that he has done all that he promised he would do. Well, I leave Nigerians to judge. For me, he has not.
Sam, I need you to hold your thought. Let's go on this commercial break. When we come back, then you continue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Vintage is classic. Vintage is culture. Vintage is our heritage. Vintage 95.7.
Assalamu alaikum gbogbo Mùsùlùmí ilẹ̀kùn Hajj 2023 ti ṣíṣẹ́ gbogbo ẹni tó bá wà ṣẹlẹ̀ àjọ̀rọ̀ yìí iléeṣẹ́ alálùbáríkà you fit fly nígbẹ́ gbogbo Hajj tọdún yìí yàtọ̀ kọjá àtàkẹ́yìn ṣe tí wọ́n mọ̀ kí àtẹ̀tẹ̀ sí àtẹ̀tẹ̀ yìí ọ̀pọ̀ tí fún kọ́lẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ you fit fly ẹ̀yìn àtẹ̀tẹ̀ bá wà fún kọ́lẹ̀ Hajj 2023 tí ó wáyé láàrin ọjọ́ pẹ̀lú oṣù kẹfà ọjọ́ keje oṣù kẹjọ ọdún 2023 pẹ̀lú ọ̀pọ̀ ètò tó mú ìgbádùn rẹpẹtẹ lórí ilé gbẹ̀rún tí ó jìnà sí haram àti mọ́ṣáláṣí àbájú ọ̀dínà yàrá ọ̀gbẹ́ni tójú oúnjẹ àjẹpẹ́pẹ́ ẹ̀mẹ́ta lójúmọ́ fún ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ètò tí ó mú ká ṣe àṣepẹ́ láti ìtọ́dún rèé adẹ́pẹ́ ọmọ fàkókò ṣòfò mọ́ ẹ wá darapọ̀ mọ́ àwọn olùjà lọ́fíìsì you fit fly tó wà ní success one 7 road ewúrẹ́ lẹ́mẹ́rẹ́ state ring road ìbàdàn àti ẹ̀fẹ́ tó 703-711-7801 Hajj 2023 pẹ̀lú you fit fly inshallah àjọyọ̀.
Welcome back from that commercial break. Sam, you were reacting to some issues.
Yes, I was reacting to the issue of manifesto and expanding the manifesto to the fact that we have remained in a circle. And he asked a question.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
Yes. Bossa from Olodu, sir.
Bossa, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. So on the point you just raised now, concerning Mr. President, President Buhari, who said he has done justice to his promises. For me, I am sure we are all in Nigeria together. We have seen what has taken place, what promises he has fulfilled and that which he has not fulfilled. For real, in 2015, we are all aware that he promised us a refinery per year, but even till December last year, when he still assured us, November I mean, he assured us that by December we will get a refinery. Here we have today still battling with scarcity of fuel. He also promised us that a naira will be equivalent to $1, but reverse is the case today. Naira was just devalued. I mean, dollar was just devalued to 461 naira. Then, upon that, they keep giving us policies upon policies that keep inflicting. Administration for almost 8 years now has not been it for Nigerians at all. It is just for we Nigerians to know what we are doing in these forthcoming elections. We should not just we should not fall to the cajole of the politicians of Nigeria, but rather we should use our instinct to vote right. Competent leaders who are ready to serve, visionaries who are ready to turn the situation of Nigeria for the better. Thank you, sir.
All right,
thank you very much, Bosse.
It shows Nigerians are taking note of things.
Yes, Nigerians are taking note of things. You know, look at the healthcare; it's deteriorating. We've lost most of our doctors. Not most now, many of our doctors. You know, they've all traveled. Many of them no longer practice. Some of them do coding now. We've lost a whole lot of professionals. Look at the banking sector, the Japa syndrome. One of my friends, somebody said, Japa. If anybody is complaining of Japa, it should be the banks that are. In fact, it was so much that the Institute of Bankers, their president, had to speak up. Who was MD of one of the banks? He said one of the problems is that after training them and getting them equipped to help in the sector,
particularly those who are experts
IT,
in the electronic.
Yes, IT experts. They will leave the country. So it's a lot of problem. It's affecting us in very many ways. So those are some of the results of the I have done my best. If you, I mean, juxtapose it to what the president has said. A lot of things they promised 100 days into their election, into the government coming into office. They said, no, we didn't promise this, we didn't promise that. In fact, I remember that the president reminded us that when he was at Chatham House, that he said that 100 days were rather too short to be able to make any impact. Now, when you marry this into the manifestos, you see that it is the same issues of repairing our refineries, making oil available, removing subsidy, restructuring, and the same issues. So we keep regurgitating, we keep running around in a circle. But what I want is a government that will come and defy all the odds and say, okay, institutions should be stronger than individuals, which is why someone like Trump could be removed from office, because he did everything to remain there. If the institutions were not strong, Trump would have upturned their elections.
Sam, I want you to marry these two together. From this day newspaper, Southwest leaders back Tinubu for president. Another is saying that presidency, Northern Blacksmith endorsed Tinubu Shetima. What do you have to say? We have a call?
Okay. Sorry, we lost
it.
Okay.
What do you have to say about groups, ethnic groups and all that, religious bodies endorsing one candidate and all that?
Well, all I will say is that it's normal. If they come to me now for endorsement, I will act like the traditional ruler. Everybody come to me, I will endorse you.
Does it amount to the vote?
That is where the question lies. If blacksmiths, I don't know of any blacksmith as we speak. I haven't done any business with any blacksmiths in
a long time.
I can't even remember. Maybe it was when if you have to fix some things in your car. And they recommend a blacksmith, maybe. But blacksmith, church leaders, mosque leaders, traditional leaders, traditional religious worship, everybody can endorse. Yeah. But what does it amount to? If it amounts to getting you the vote, and another thing is, from some of the things we get, some of the fillers we get, some of the interpretation of the fillers we get from some of these endorsements is to say, when you now score high number of votes, you say, that's because so people had endorsed you and so on and so forth. Yoruba leaders, fine. Afenifere, who did not endorse Tinubu, are also Yoruba leaders.
Yeah, they endorsed
Peter Obi. They are also Yoruba leaders. So you see, you can now draw the line. This one is endorsing, that one is endorsing. It's an endorsement galore. We are a few days to the election, about 4 days to the election. So, and beginning from tomorrow, Ash Wednesday, a lot of Catholics will go for confession and so on. At the end of the day, they will still go back to do some of these things. So endorsement galore. I will not. In fact, if they were not endorsing now, I would have been shocked.
All right, going back to the manifestos, I can see that you talked about it. But what should Nigerians be looking at?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Balki is on the line again.
Okay.
As regards President Muhammadu Buhari's statement that he has done his best, when we look at it, I think he has tried, especially in the area of infrastructure. And Yoruba people do say, Kini kolama fuloko, iko niro kosi odo are. But when you even look at the infrastructure, it's being hampered due to insecurity. And when we compare what he has done to his campaign promises, in very apparent way, he has not fulfilled so many of his campaign promises. And the next president is going to face an Herculean task. So let me just urge Nigerians that on this Saturday, we should go out en masse and vote for a credible candidate. Good morning once again.
Thank you very much. I was asking that, manifesto, it's something that people want to hear, then I will listen, then make decision of who I want to vote for. Now you have come to say that, okay, this manifesto are just like coming back, it's already printed statement that has now been furnished with better English.
Yes, there's a template.
So what do you think we should now start looking for in our candidates?
We should look at the individuals now, because the parties have failed us. We should look at who we think can push the agenda that we have in mind as individuals. for me as an individual, for me personally, I have my own standards. And that's because I'm experienced enough to have seen where we are in very many areas. The institutions are really very weak. As much as the police IGs, inspectors general of police in the past, had been saying, no, police no go carry handbag again, and so on and so on, we still see them carry handbag and umbrellas. That's because the institution cannot put its feet on the ground and say, Oga, we are not going to do this, and that's it. It doesn't happen here. Same thing goes with the other arms of the armed forces or branches of the armed forces. I remember the US Army coming out to say, when Trump ordered them to come out, to say, no, we are not loyal to you. We are loyal to the Constitution. I don't think we've had or heard anything like that from Nigeria. So it is what
the chief
yes,
what says.
Whatever it is that the commander-in-chief of the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces says that carries it. Now you now find a way to dribble around our constitution to support that which the commander-in-chief desires. So until we see an individual who can stand against some of these things and say no, even if it affects him as an individual, then I don't know, but at least we have to vote and have a president, because that's what the constitution says and that's what the rules prescribe.
We just hope that things get better as we move closer to election on Saturday. Now, looking at different things, let's look at the fuel issue also, because we can't rule that out presently. It's said in the news this morning that the price of fuel here is now 200 and 257 per
we have a caller, please. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
This is Aziz. I'm calling from Egeda.
Okay.
I want to react to the policy.
You mean the new Naira notes?
The new Naira notes. The policy is good, but the implementation is very poor. And I hope that the aims of this policy will not end up in futility, because many Nigerians are hungry due to the Naira crisis. Because and on the election day, giving the elector a sum of 2,000 Naira new notes will somehow be valuable to them. So this policy to me is just a misplaced priority, because no system in Nigeria that can make any policy work effectively, because Nigerian factor will affect it. So I guess the president should create enabling environment for business to thrive, make there be stable power supply, adequate security for the citizens.
Do you mean President Muhammadu Buhari or the next president?
The next president, because this one I don't think any good thing.
No. Be careful of what you say. Please be careful of what you say.
Because for over 7 years, hello.
Go ahead.
For over 7 years, they promised us refinery. We couldn't see any. They promised us adequate security. We couldn't see any. They promised us to strengthen our Naira. We couldn't see it. Now we are changing Naira during Jonathan around 200 Naira per dollar. Now it is almost 800 Naira per dollar. So everything is getting worse under their watch every day.
Thank you.
So that's my take, sir. We should come out in mass this time.
Saturday and vote.
Yes, and vote.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I like us, before we go, Benga, I like us to talk about the 200 Naira notes. One headline is saying here that Relief as bank disburse old 200 Naira notes. Have you seen?
Okay, I have one here that say banks ration 200 Naira note. And and now, ever since President Muhammadu Buhari had said that 200 Naira note, the old one can still be in circulation, I've not seen the new.
You've not seen the new?
Not seen the new.
So you've been seeing the old one?
I've been seeing the old
Sam,
one.
What's your take on this? Has it brought any relief?
No, not at all. Because banks still shut their doors. and somehow use the back door. POS operators still charge exorbitant. In fact, now I learned it's 1,200 naira to get 5,000 naira or 1,000 naira, 10,000 naira. So it's still the same thing. We have.
So what do you have left if 1,200 naira is taken out of 5,000 naira?
There was this joke by this man that calls himself the investor, Sabinus. He went to a POS to collect money and he said, "I want to collect 500," and they printed out a receipt and gave him. He said, "Where is my 500?" They say 500 is the charge. So that's So that's he just painted the scenario in a very vivid picture. They just collect. I pity people who have to pay bills in hospitals. People who are in their need of. Some of us are talking today because we are not in their situation. It's that bad. You need to go out there to see what happens.
We have stories of a lot of people dying in the hospital because there are no enough cash or the transactions are
delayed. There was a report in Kano of a woman that died because the hospital was waiting for an alert. And there was also a man who tweeted that he queued for long to get 2,000 naira from the bank, and he saw a man rolling on the floor outside the bank begging to be given 2,000 naira because he needed to buy his hypertension drugs. So he had to hand the 2,000 to him and say, "Your case is worse. Go and buy the drugs."
We have to go now. Toby is already in the studio.
Yeah, good morning, Bimbo. Well, we have a lot happening in the world of sports.
You always have a lot.
Toby Amuson, she's my namesake. She's in the news for the right reasons.
Oh, good.
And of course, the Champions League resumes today. Real Madrid, Liverpool. So we have very interesting matches today. I love football. I don't know why Bimbo don't watch football.
Bimbo,
maybe in another word.
Bimbo must be a unique being to not watch football.
All right, let me second Bimbo today. I don't watch football. So.
and I must quickly add that whatever it is that Okagbare did that has put us in a bad light, we thank God for someone like Toby Amuson.
Yeah, my namesake.
Yeah, okay. Thank God for your namesake.
By the way, we have to go now. Sam, thank you so much for being part of Black Coffee this morning.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, listener. Thank you. Have a nice day.
My name is Abimbola Adebayo. Please join us tomorrow again on Black Coffee on your darling radio station, Vintage 93.7 FM, Oluyole, Ibadan.
My name is Oluwagbemi Golabisi. Please enjoy the rest of the day.